Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Maina Amawe. Coming up on the program today, House of Representatives investigates the many controversies surrounding the former chairman of the Pension Reform Task Force, Maina. The Oyo State government launches its Education Trust Fund. An environmental activist in Benue State begin campaign to keep state capital clean. Welcome to the program that brings you news from the length and breadth of Nigeria. There are fresh revelations coming from the National Assembly as the House of Representatives begins hearing on the return and promotion of the former chairman of the Presidential Pension Reform Task Force, Maina. Now, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has told the lawmakers that there is an existing pension fraud syndicate made up of politicians, legislators, retired civil servants, and they are working hard to ensure their activities are not exposed. According to him, Maina was part of the syndicate and had fallen out with the group. He insists that the letter giving clear directives on the reinstatement of Maina could not have genuinely emanated from his office. Apart from the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, other top government officials up for questioning are the Minister of Interior, the Head of Service, and the Inspector General of Police. They've all been accused of having prior knowledge of Maina's return to the civil service. The issue has generated criticism and condemnation from Nigerians who accuse the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari of complicity in the matter. And the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory is angry with prosecutors who obtain remand orders from courts to detain suspects, only to abandon such suspects in prison. Justice Ishaq Bello is asking government at all levels to provide funds to enable witnesses appear in court when needed in order to speed up trials. This position was re-echoed at a conference on the review and implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act in Nigeria.
Around for introduction.
It is 2 years since the Administration of Legal Justice Act came into being. It is for this reason that the Center for Socio-Legal Studies convenes a conference in Abuja to review the implementation of the Act. The Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, who is represented at the occasion, identifies several factors for the lackluster implementation of the Act.
The judiciary alone cannot effectively implement the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Other stakeholders must have the will and determination to cooperate with the judiciary in the implementation. As said today, I will not say that the implementation of the Act is in any way close to 100%.
The convener highlights challenges to the implementation of the Act caused by legal practitioners themselves.
As we focus on the role of the courts in implementing the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, there must also be a corresponding attention to the role of investigators and prosecutors as well as witnesses. No matter how well constituted the specialized courts are, they cannot achieve much without the complement of effective prosecutors and defense lawyers.
A prosecutor from the Federal Ministry of Justice appeals to the National Assembly to ensure adequate funding of the judiciary.
This issue of funding we are talking about, something has to be done. Because without funding, nobody can do magic. And in most cases, you will see report, they blame police, they blame prosecutors. But the other challenges that are inside, inbuilt in the act, in the laws, nobody sees the other side of the challenge.
The two-day conference is expected to review the roles of different agencies in implementing the Administration of Criminal Justice Act with the aim of promoting efficient management of criminal justice institutions.
From the judiciary to education, the training of Nigeria's future leaders cannot be left for government alone. That's the stand of the Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi at the launch of a 50 billion naira fund to develop the education sector in the state. He's calling on well-meaning individuals and corporate bodies to join in raising youths who can compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world.
This hall is the International Conference Center of the University of Ibadan in Oyo State, where the government is bringing together captains of industry and some major players in the private sector.
Our distinguished guests and donors.
The reason for this gathering is to raise funds to reposition the education sector in the state, following Governor Ajimobi's declaration that the state does not have what is needed to drive the quality education his administration desires.
The task of modern education is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. The idea, therefore, that the state alone should fund education is both outdated and no longer feasible. Firstly, the state hasn't got the kind of resources it needs to make the kind of difference that really matters. Secondly, education is too important to leave for government alone.
And for how the 50 billion naira fund will be used, here's an explanation.
I want to assure you all that the funds pooled together will be committed to the education sector for improved service delivery, especially through the construction and rehabilitation of physical facilities in schools, provision of standard science equipment, students and teachers, sets of furniture, sporting equipment, technical education facilities, learning materials for inclusive education.
It is clear that the future of Nigeria will not be determined by states with oil or solid minerals, but by those capable of providing quality education. Young men and women with cutting-edge skills, youth that can compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world.
If this vision to provide a quality education that drives development is achieved, these students may be the development agents expected to take Nigeria to its desired level.
Meanwhile, teachers in Edo State are asking the State House of Assembly to reject the proposal for local government councils to take over the payment of primary school teachers. Their protest is a reaction to recent clamor by the National Union of Local Government Employees for Local Government Autonomy.
Teachers from across the 3 senatorial districts of Edo State on a peaceful march in Benin City, the state capital. Singing solidarity songs, they head for their destination, the Edo State House of Assembly complex, also in Benin City. Their placards say it all about their position on the ongoing legislative work on local government autonomy in Nigeria. At the State Assembly complex, the leaders of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, Edo State, take turns to highlight the purpose of the rally to this official of the House, as the leadership of the House was said to be unavoidably absent.
If you are a speaker, who got you? If you are a PRO, who got you?
We want to say that the teachers in Edo State and in Nigeria in general are not against local government autonomy. But what we are saying is this: local government can be granted autonomy, but the salary of the primary school teachers and the management should not be left in the hands of the local government. When local government were asked to take charge in the payment of teacher salary in this country, many states could not even meet up. That is the local government. Some local government were owed teacher salary for up to a period of 1 year. Do we go back to that era?
The bottom line of your protest
you don't want local government to take charge of your salary. So, it is noted and it will be conveyed to the leadership of the House.
Having passed across their message, the teachers depart with the hope that their representatives in the House will understand the reasons for the body's stance and accede to their request.
Still ahead on the program, some environmental activists in Benue State have started a weekday sanitation exercise in the state capital, Makurdi. Join us again.